That's not the hand I wave with. I hate doing that. Let's do it on the same side. Yeah, that's good. Hey, everybody. Oh, no, I'm looking really far over to the side. Sorry. Hey, everybody, and welcome back to All Bronze No Brains, your Buffy the Vampire Slayer rewatch podcast, bringing you the very latest from 1998. And we do have to warn you, there might be spoilers here, so if you haven't watched this 30-year-old show, spoiler! Oopsies!
Okay.
We're bringing you back to a time of chunky blonde highlights and jelly sandals, and that's just David. So join us this week as we ask the questions on everyone's lips. Where the fuck did Spike get that accent?
Genuinely, where did Spike get that fucking accent?
I'm not even joking.
You better be joking.
No, I'm not joking, bitch.
But what charity shop bin did Spike fish out that accent from?
Roll the credits!
What Dave did not realise is that the credits had already been rolled. Twat.
Wonderful, wonderful. Hey guys, welcome to this week's episode. We're on to episode number 42 of All Bronze No Brains, which is also coincidentally episode 42 of
42?
Buffy the Vampire. Yeah,
Oh my god. That is.
Season 6, episode 8, Lovers Walk. It has been written by Dan Weber, Jane Ebbinson, and Douglas Petrie. Directed by Dave Semi.
Semmel.
Is it Semmel?
Yeah, Semmel. I think it's Semmel.
And it's autocorrected to Semi it's David Semi from now on.
Oh.
I have opinions on this episode, but I will wait until the very end.
Okay.
Because it will ramp up into my opinions. But just a bit of a pointless episode.
Squeeze me? Oh, no, you did.
This whole episode is pointless for one specific scene, in my opinion. And like, you could have just put that scene in a better episode. And I'm assuming The Wish is going to be a better episode. I get the feeling.
Oh, my God.
The Wish would have been the episode that would have aired probably around Thanksgiving then. So they would have wanted to save a big one for the holiday season, wouldn't they?
I don't even think that this wasn't a big one. I think it's just we're bored of this storyline.
Oh,
I'm very conflicted on what I think about this episode because this is a skip episode for me.
yeah, 100%. I will never watch this again. Even if I do a Buffy review, I'll skip this.
But having kind of went back to really like think about it and rewatch it.
Here we go.
But this is the annoying thing.
Me gaslit.
Well, this is the problem, like me consuming Buffy media is that podcasts like Becoming Buffy or that Passion of the Nerd on YouTube that I kind of look at for different references of how they receive these episodes. They're just making me think. I don't know if I'm being gaslit. I think they're gaslighting me.
You're being gaslit.
But they do bring up some good points, which I'll happily share when we get to them. So why don't you just fucking take it away?
Well, it ends up with Willow and Xander complaining about their SAT scores. They end up bumping into the other partners and they all start complaining about their SAT scores. That's literally all that happens in this bit. There's a bit of the awkward looks and a bit of the guilty looks that you're getting from the two things. All that happens is they're complaining about their SAT scores. Willow very clearly complained about a great score. Fuck up, Willow. Buffy gets an amazing score.
1430, Buffy, you kicked ass.
Which is surprising to everyone, even me. I was expecting her to walk in and say it was shit. She got a really high score, which everyone's very surprised about and making witty jokes about how stupid Buffy got a really good score. At which point we, boom, cut the Spike being fucked out of a car. I thought was a very good little introduction to Spike being brought back. That's really it. So it's just a lot of waffle and scripting. Go.
When smart people talk about good results like they're stupid, it really annoys me. It also really reminds me of when skinny people call themselves fat in front of fat
Just
people.
about to say that. Yeah, hate that.
And then they're like, but you're not fat. And I'm like, I have eyeballs. Now, there is a styling note that I wanted to say here that I couldn't bring up in the last episode because we didn't really get there. But have you noticed the change in styling for Buffy this year? How it's kind of become this Stepford wife cardigan kind of little
like an
tee.
old woman.
No, I was talking to someone online, a guy called Stephen Gregory, artist on Instagram, and he was saying, do you know, I think it's kind of crazy how they've just shoehorned Buffy into this Stepford wife style because Faith is here and they don't want us to think that Buffy is like Faith. Even though Buffy wore leather way before, she's had some iconic leather pieces. One of the things I thought was interesting, I wanted to ask you about was Cordelia seems to be very against double dating, but I was wondering what your thought was on double dating. I think it's just like hanging out when you're friends with couples.
Yeah, I don't like it when it's called a double date. Because
Yes.
it all becomes a thing. When I'm like, do you want to hang out? It's like, or do you want to go do a thing, or we're going to, yeah, I hate when it becomes a thing. Like, I have been on a few double dates where, like, I have been the other person and the two girls are friends or something, do you know what I mean? And then you're having that awkward chat with the other person. I just think it's never a good time.
Oh, yeah. I'm only really used to third wheeling, so I don't really know what like the double element would be. I guess I'm the size of two people, so whatever. Buffy's SAT score, she did amazing. She got 1430. She placed in the top 5 to 7% of people. So that also made me curious about how well we did. So I was looking up the A-level results by year, and if you got A's, you were in the top 20%. And if you got C's and above, you were in the top 46%.
Is that all the difference? 20% between the
A and C, yeah. Now, Spike's entrance that you liked, I don't know if you've still actually technically seen the episode where Spike is coming yet, because you weren't here when we covered it. R.I.P.
Nope, I don't think I have.
It kind of mirrors this scene. Like, he drives his car, he crashes into the Sunnydale sign. I'll put the comparison side by side in the video here for people to see. Except he gets out and he's got his vampire face and he smokes a cigarette and he's like, "Home sweet home." Except in this one, he's obviously fucking steaming. He's like, blah 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 blah. So just before we move on, just very quickly to catch people up, the last time we saw Spike, he had just made that deal with Buffy that he would take Angel out and get Drusilla like out of the way, basically. But essentially, he left Angel there to kill Buffy after he choked out Drusilla and took her away to the car.
This whole episode, I think the writers struggle to land with Spike. He flits so far between love struck and puppy dog, which I didn't know you could have love if you didn't have a soul. If you're getting into that stuff, like
We can talk about that later.
vampires having love sounds a bit unusual, sounds like an obsession, but the way he's getting on is lovesick, not obsessive who has his toy taken away from him, so it's confused me. Anyway, but that's in a general theme. We get on to the one of many, fucking many, Spike being drunk and depressed, walking around talking to himself. Drusilla's left him. He's just wandering around, looking at creepy dolls, talking about he's giving us what's that called?
Exposition.
Yes, the exposition. Yes, he's being, and there's so much exposition. That's why I think I don't really like this episode so much. Usually they're a lot better with fighting scenes. There is one fighting scene, one genuine fighting scene. Anyway, Spike's drunk, depressed, slavering about Drusilla leaving him and, oh, that bitch, in his terrible fucking accent. And then he looks at a creepy doll. This is one bit that I thought was great. His change into the vampire face when he's looking at the doll. He just whips his head and comes back. But that is the vampire look I've seen, because you don't get the bad thing, because they get the cut or whatever the hell they do in the edit. But that was, I actually was like, wow, it's quite realistic. We cut back to the school. This is where we see things are getting proper serious with the couples. This is our, you need to fucking hate Xander Willow now because these two people are being hurt by them kind of vibe. So we see Xander has his picture in Cordelia's locker and he's a bit surprised by this. And then Oz also shows up later on with the cutest little, what looks like a vape, but is a Pez dispenser, which was just so very, very sweet. But I love, my favorite person this whole episode is Alison Hannigan. Her acting and her guilt, I believe her. She's the only person that I feel is genuinely feels guilty. Xander is still trying to finger while he's holding Cordelia's hand. It's just, I do not understand why this character gets looked at in any reverence or in any likeness. He's a fucking cunt. Anyway, that's my sort of take on these first few scenes. What do you have for me, baby girl?
Spike's introduction, obviously, they're introducing the big themes of the episode, which is, for me, initially what I take away is from what you're saying, the idea of love and the type of love that someone without a soul can have. And Spike's appears to be this obsessive, irrational, and like self-destructive nature of love. Obviously, he gives us that toxic line of like, "You stupid, worthless bitch, look what you've done to me." I loved the scenes in the school to start with. I thought it was like, there's a great line when Xander's like, "What's classier than bowling?" And Cordelia's like,
Apart from everything ever?
Cordelia's so sweet and gorgeous in this scene. I love that she's got those pictures in her locker, but the pictures are of them double dating, so I don't know why they're acting like this is a surprise, like something they haven't done. They obviously has. Willow delivers a line really weird whenever Oz gives her the gift. She's like, "What's the occasion?"
What's the occasion?
It's the occasion.
I
It's a really. What's the occasion?
She reminds me a little bit of Fiona or something, like because she's
Yeah.
used to be quite shy and quite timid, but also like really sharply witty at times whenever she'd say stuff, and that's just so that she just seems like a wee bit of a weirdo, and that's why it reminds me of the Fiona.
Yeah.
Fiona was a bitch.
Fiona is a lady.
I loved always giving her the Pez Witch. I just thought that was such like a lovely gift. And that's a great, thoughtful gift to give someone. I just loved it. And then whenever Willow's like, I don't have anything to give you, and I was just like, yeah, you do.
My magic pussy!
So we went to the library. Jared's is also surprised. We're going to get this all the time. Everyone's very surprised that Buffy has intelligence. And this is a scene, again, this is what I promise you, I genuinely sat with my notes. And I'm like, because I've seen the episode and I watched it again last night, I was making my notes and I was like, but he's just talking about college. And then they just talk for like a whole scene about she should go to college, maybe she shouldn't, would be better for her. But this served no purpose to the plot. This was just it was weird that it's rare that the Buffy fight becomes the C plot and the A plot becomes just conversations about Buffy's love. And I'm just like, would everyone leave the wee girl alone and let her fucking fit? Anyway, I have a lot of feel sorry for Buffy in this a lot. Giles is implying that Buffy can actually leave to go to college because she's saying she's got responsibilities, and he's like, well, Faith is here. And she looks a little bit like butthurt, a little bit stung. Giles could just be frivolously, even though we all know Giles is doing it for the good of Buffy, for the good of her career, her life, and all that stuff. And then we get a wee bit of awkwardness, and Giles brings up Angel.
Yeah.
Please don't do anything rash.
Anything rash meaning?
Are you planning on seeing Angel?
Yes, actually, I am. Look, but there's not going to be any rash. Anywhere.
I've been in my thoughts about the costumes. There's some stuff I've noticed. Buffy's got a little jumper over her shoulders, so it's very preppy. I did do a cardigan count in this episode. There's like 5 different cardigans that she wears. The talk about Buffy's future seems to make everyone very uncomfortable, and it's like, I don't know why. Because it's just like, this is just something that is like, I don't think Buffy's making it uncomfortable, but it feels like everyone, Buffy even comments on it later in the episode when she's like, all day people have been like, well done, go away. It crosses over from the idea of like Buffy not thinking about her future to being like, why does everyone underestimate her so much? But at least for me, that's what I was thinking. You mentioned about the Giles kind of look when he talks about Angel, but he does. There's something that happens a few times in this episode where characters are looking at other characters, not looking at them. And I really like that because I feel like then that's a real moment of what you see, what someone's really thinking. It's something I've really picked up on a lot with Anthony Head and also David Boreanaz this season. I just think is like,
show don't tell. They're really good at just being actors.
Him and Sarah together, I'm like, it must have just been a dream to write scripts and to not really have, because when you look at the original scripts for these episodes, there's not a ton of stage direction in there or ways that they should say things. And it's like, you just know that they're so good that they're going to bring like what they bring to it.
I think this is why I get my issue with the Willow and Xander stuff. You get this fucking clear chemistry between them. You even get the chemistry between Xander and Cordelia. I just don't believe that Xander and Willow, that's my problem. I get that friends can have those awkward moments. I get that, like, you don't know what, this just feels so shoehorned in. I never even believed when they first kissed. That's my thing. I just don't believe them. I don't think Willow would be I just feel it's so, and even in this episode specifically, Xander's still getting Willow on his side and he's being such a gross cunt.
Yeah. I think one of the things that I do, that I listened to on the Passion of the Nerds commentary on this, was that if this had happened towards the end of season 2, it would have made sense. However, the fact that it didn't is why they had to do it now, because these things happen when you don't expect them and stuff. And but I think the big uncomfortable thing for me is watching characters that I like do things that I don't agree with. And it's like, that's obviously the hard part, which like makes this story fall flat for me.
I actually don't mind it when characters do things that are like when Willow does things a bit. This just doesn't feel like even the initial kiss or the thing happening. I get how you can get caught up in the emotions of it and stuff, and like how you know yourself. You've been, I'm not saying like you've been in moments of people like that you expect, and it's to do with this scenario and everything. It's just that it continues on in this. I'll get to it. There's a scene later. Actually, it's coming up right now.
Well, right here, I've wrote the note, and like I've never watched the show before and felt disappointed in the characters, except now this is the first time I've watched it and felt kind of disappointed in their decision. It's because I'm older, probably. I'm like, I'm more disappointed than caught up in like the love sickness of it, you know.
We cut the Xander Willow. They're concerned that the other halves will notice, but they still continue to flirt in school, in in front, not hidden down the wee dungeon places where everyone goes and fingers each other. No, 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 no. In the middle of the playground or the fucking whatever they want to call the atrium of where the, and I'm like, and he starts touching her hair and being It's the, do you know what the issue? You know what my issue is? It's the affection. If there were two horny fuckers and they just wanted to ride each other all the time, I'd be like, fair. It's just that they're getting affectionate, and that's the bit that confuses me. Where I'm like, I don't know if they're. I don't know if they even know if that's because they play it off like they can't keep their hands off each other,
Yeah,
and yet they can.
but we haven't seen that.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. Yeah, that's it. I haven't seen it. Hasn't like we have been in that scenario where you fancy the fuck out of someone or you kiss them and you never seen them in that light before, and my ex and I were friends, like best mates, and for a year and a half, and I kissed another girl, and I noticed that she got jealous, and then that made me go like, why would she be jealous? I'm her mate, and then I was like, wait, and then we kissed, and then it was like, whoa, sparks, and it was really cool, but like it was hot and heavy and there was no other. I just don't fucking believe it. And Sam's being a fucking twat here. He's trying to have his cake and eat it too.
Yeah, he is typical boy.
And then one line that says, I just wish I wasn't attracted to you. I was like, that's bad writing. That's bad writing. Felt like it was a bit naff. But the whole time I'm like, are you not trying to make Xander desirable? He's got these two unbelievably beautiful women after him. And I get that that happens to some fellas sometimes, and that's all good. It's happened to me once. Well, two people like me at the same time.
It happens to me with men.
I'm sure. But I'm like, the whole time they're doing it, it's Willow's face. I get that Xander's a fucking creep. And it's the fact that he just got that romantic thing from her. This is what the disappointment is. It feels like so close to that scene at the lockers. And then Willow and him just find each other to be like, oh my God, they're going to find out about it. And I'm like, oh, these are tons.
Yeah.
That's I get the disappointment. And that's very good writing, therefore, if I feel disappointed. But I just don't believe Willow would be attracted to that twat. I did think the line, I wish I wasn't so attracted to you, to give Willow the idea of doing a love potion was a bit, just felt a bit ham. Everything feels a wee bit ham, a bit like,
We're coming from an episode where we just had Buffy say like, do you think they make a patch for this? Which was such a great way to like express that. But to be like, I wish I wasn't so attracted to you.
yeah, it's like, I feel like it could have been a nicer way of being like, or it's just, or if he was like, do you know what, even right now as I'm sitting writing it, he goes to kiss her and then he stops like, God, I wish you'd stop being so attractive.
Yeah.
Just even simply that. But it's the way he delivers it, and he does it. It's because Xander doesn't like women. That's my little rant done.
Is it though?
We cut to Buffy at home with her mum, who's also trying to convince her to go to uni, telling her it's the best thing in the world, and she's so happy because she's got a smart daughter, which I'm also like, your daughter was brilliant yesterday. Just because she got a good score doesn't mean you need to be a good mum now. Where the fuck were you in season 1 and halfway through season 2, Joyce? Go ahead, Tony.
You belong at a good old-fashioned college with cake parties and boys, not here with hellmouths and vampires.
However, Joyce is the only one who really has a right to say stuff like this because she has historically had to deal with Buffy's parent-teacher night being horrendous, all of that. So she's probably like, "Fucking hell, well done, you've done so good." And the fact knowing that like Joyce is also gonna have to be the one to pay for it, I'm like, okay, well that's cool that she's willing to send her somewhere where there's like a great education. But also the star of this scene is really Joyce's perm set because she is looking chef's kiss.
I fancy books like crazy. She is
Yeah.
hottie. And see the scene with her and Spike made me fancy her even more.
Yes, she's really giving off like Cher vibes. There's something about her that just gives
Giving
off
off like your mate's cool mum that's a bit hot, and she's like, and she gets to talk to you about your girlfriend that you're going through tough times, and then you really hope you
she really sounds very unreasonable. Also, Buffy's wearing another cardigan.
The thing that I dislike the most is that Joyce calls Giles Mr. Giles. There's something in that.
That is his name.
I know. Because they all just refer to him as Giles. But the fact is, Mr. Giles, it feels like, because them two have bumped uglies too, I'm like, I wonder, did you call him Mr. Giles?
Oh
I just
yeah, I mean, yeah. Oh, she's always called him Mr. Johns, which I quite like. Which does, it is kind of funny because do you imagine if we had just called some of our teachers like, well, we
Mitchell.
actually would Mitchell. We did call Mitchell.
Mitchell,
Oh,
yeah.
McCaffrey. Oh yeah, we did Mitchell McCaffrey. Not O'Kane. We always just said Miss O'Kane.
We get a good cut at the end of this scene. Again, this scene is just more just talking about the uni stuff. More, I feel like this episode is just like tying up of the previous stuff to move us into whatever is going to happen in the Wish. Again, haven't seen it. People who have seen it are probably going like, oh my god. There's a good button at the end of it, a good cut at the end of this where it's like, anyway, there's nothing keeping you here, and we cut to Angel. It's like, or what's keeping you here? Or something. She asks, like, is there even anything keeping you here? And then we cut to Angel who's reading the book, and I'm like, yeah, he looks sexy as fuck as well. The cut to him was
He does look sexy as fuck. And can I just let you know that Angel is reading the book Nausea by John Paul Sartre, which is about a man who experiences alienation and existential dread.
interesting. Is it Sartre or Sar?
Oh, I just said Sartre because there's a T in it, but I'm not French, so it probably is Sartre. Jean Paul Sartre.
Sar. Jean-Paul Far.
Jean Monchon. It's by Jean Monchon.
Bonjour. When we cut to Angel, we see that Spike is again still drunk. Also, for someone who's drunk, I don't know how, he doesn't get any liquid into his mouth at any point during this episode. Most of it runs down, and it's always that really bad, like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, alcoholics drink. They carefully will drop. They want every fucking drop. Not, even though he's not being an alcoholic, he's being a. I'm sorry. I'm just obviously I'm not answering my pants about this episode. I'm quite
That's
looking forward
okay.
to
That's good.
it. But Spike is spying on Angel. Angel fucks off, and then this is where Spike starts speaking up and like, "Oh yeah, run away. Oh yeah, you're fucking nervous," and all this sort of stuff. Which I was like,
Yeah. I was scundered for him in this scene, to be honest. All his mad soliloquies, I'm just like,
And
no.
then he falls asleep, and then we still are with Spike as he wakes up in dawn. And like, what is the point of all of this? See, there's no, we get it.
In
He's
dawn.
it's like, what the fuck? And then I did quite like the fact that he goes on fire.
You sick bitch.
But I have a point about his fucking nails. Oh my god! Every fella that thought Spike ruined our generation of like guys that wanted to be alternative, who were like, I don't care, I want to do what I want. They all dyed their hair blonde. They all started dressing like Spike. I'm thinking of
Me.
I think gay emo guys really used to love like dressing up like Spike, and it was always the thing that annoys me about his nails. Guys like that, they would always have their nails painted, but never completely painted. So I'm like, so if you painted your nails to chip off some of the paint to make it look like you don't give a fuck about your nails, it's just that stupid shit really annoys me. Don't know why I thought about his nails there, but they came to me. Go.
However, do you know normally Spike's nails are always pristinely black? They're just not in this episode to represent.
Oh, do you know what? That's a really good.
Because I don't know if you even noticed as well, his hair is not as slicked back. There's a bit of a looser wave.
Yeah, I never noticed before then his nails were so pristine. We see him running back to his car, which is exactly the same as my car. It's the same stuff in it. Disgusting.
The same amount of stuff in the back seat.
This is where you see the really bad, like, open of the bottle and drink of the bottle and all the stuff. And I'm like, do you know what? I'm going to give him a break. But I just think his acting in this episode is really OTT. Like, it's almost like, what do you call James Marston? Is that his name?
Marsters.
Sorry, James There's somebody else called
Marston is Cyclops.
Yes, James Marsters. He Marsters. That's anyway. He it feels like he's just so excited to be back in the cast. So he's came running in with all this energy, all this like hyped up, hammy, overacting energy, but everyone else is a bit calmed down. So it feels a wee bit like.
I think that's what it is. He's been out of being Spike for a while, so it's almost just like he's, you know, someone's asked you to revisit the character that you played once, and you're like, what way did I used to Spike?
You don't know Harry Potter.
All right, Buffy, it's me.
You can't tell me what to do. You ain't my mother. Yes, I am.
But we cut then to the potions place, the apothecary. I'm going to call it the apothecary.
It's the magic shop.
It's the magic shop. We cut to the magic shop where Spike is trying to buy a curse. Again, loads of Spike in this episode.
What's your point, David?
It's a Spike centric episode.
This is where I start to go a bit. This is where I'm losing where the writers are wanting me to think about Spike. I get the feeling that we're supposed to be kind of feeling sorry for him ish. There's like they're writing him in such a way they're burning him. And then we get this wonderful, beautiful shop assistant who's so friendly and helpful, trying to help him. And he's all like, oh, blah, 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 I need this, blah, 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 whatever. And then Willow comes in looking for the ingredients for a love spell, which the girl who the shop attendant's like, oh, you looking for a love spell? Blah, 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 blah. We get Spike overhearing this because she's wanting to make a delusting spell. And also we cut back to Spike who's listening, and we get a lovely little set of tits on the wall right beside his head.
Well, I actually wrote about that mask, like that bust and those boobs. I just thought I loved that. I was really into that. I was trying to find out what artist it was that did it.
Definitely was a great. It was, this episode was so boring.
You paused and had a wank.
Disgusting!
Willow leaves shop, and then the shop attendant comes back to Spike, who just for some reason randomly kills her. This is the bit. Why did he kill her?
He's a vampire.
I know, but he's been a vampire for ages. And later on in the episode, he's a vampire, and he doesn't randomly kill Joyce, doesn't randomly kill Xander. And I get it because he's going to get Willow to do the thing and all this stuff. I get it.
You clearly don't get it.
But it's just like, is he a vampire? Is he not? Is he in love? Is he not?
I think that's what they're trying to have us think about. Like it forces us to think what we think about it. Like, for example, being forced to, we'll talk about this more later, about kind of Spike being like a reflection in this episode of people's view of love, and like exposing the bad things that good people do versus him as being a bad person and the bad things that he does. Like, but he kills this shopkeeper because he's a vampire, and that's what he does. He has no need to do it, but that's what he does. And yet they still want to make us feel sorry for him.
That's what I struggle with.
But I think that's the point. I think you're meant to be confused, which some people don't like that experience when they're watching.
I wasn't confused. I was just like, oh, I don't care about him. So the
Yeah.
rest of this episode, because of that one thing that he did, because I was like, oh, right, they're trying to create something. Oh, no, he still will just... And then I'm at this point of like, and I can't trust anything that he said, which is really good. But I just didn't enjoy it. I just thought it was like, then why isn't she killing him then if he's a vampire? Why is Spike still alive? She's a vampire. Why is he still alive? Why don't you just kill him? But I know why. I'm getting into I'm talking about the lore, not in the show itself, and I'm trying to watch it as a person. I can't help it. I've never worried about Spike before, but this episode I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, a bit of lore that came to my brain this episode is that I would like to know more about the rules when it comes to UV/direct sunlight, because I'm like, is it the UV factor or is it direct sunlight? Because I think they're playing a little bit fast and loose with the rules recently.
A very last thing that I write in this, when he's driving off in his car, is like, not burning on fire all of a sudden, but there's light on it. So is it? Yeah, I had.
David, relax.
Relax, David.
So yeah, he kills, and it's really gross. I think it is very good how they jump from the lightness to the sound of like biting into or whatever sound that they use to.
Why does no one scream when they get bit?
Don't know.
I'd be like, oh my god, that fucking hurt me, my god, it's a bite me.
I want to move on to this scene very quickly. Have you anything to say on that stuff?
No, the only thing I really had to say, so I guess yes, sorry. The only thing I had to say was that the actress that played the shopkeeper is Suzanne Krull, and I wasn't sure if you would recognize her or not, but I recognize her from Lost. She played the fortune teller that gave Hurley his like fake fortune to tell him he was cursed.
I remember. That's right. She's really good. She's really good in this too.
She reminded me of Fiona a wee bit.
Fiona!
Then we cut back to the most pointless scene in the whole thing. This is just to justify why we get a fight later on. This is pointless to me.
Whip through it and then I'll tell you why it's not to me.
Cut back to the mayor who's playing golf and he misses his shot. Again, his light way of talking, his sounding like, and the reference I used here, sounding like an American on holiday. Because when Americans come to Belfast, they speak to like, hey man, how's it going? Just all lightness, even though you know they're up to something, which I thought was brilliant. I love the mayor, to be fair. He is very scared. There's something very frightening about him. Spike is being reported back to the mayor that he's back in town. Blah, 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 blah. The mayor says, oh, sorry, there is one part of this that's very important. Sorry, I forgot about this. Spike is the person who's reporting to the mayor that Spike's back in town and explains the mess that he made in the potions place. And the mayor then says, did you tidy it up? And then this is an answer to a question of like, how the fuck has no one noticed so many people dying? And I'm now like, oh, the mayor's been finding it out and covering it up over these years, I'm assuming I just put that together in my head. I don't know if that's true. So yes, sorry, I take it back. This scene is important for that. Because I always wondered, so there's a conspiracy now. There's the in my head, there's the government is overlooking the whole town, and essentially, which I was like, oh, that. Sorry, I take it back. This is a good scene for that one bit. I am like, fine rightly, unless the big bad monster, they're not going to kill Spike. There's no jeopardy. I know that nothing's going to happen to Spike, Angel, and Buffy. That's why I'm like, I wish there was a bit more jeopardy in this show, except maybe the jeopardy's coming from the emotional stuff rather than the physical stuff. So maybe that's quite clever, trying to give you the jeopardy from the conversation rather than the physical. Oh, I'm starting to like it now.
Yeah. That's a lot to do with the point. I was going to say, like, the thing I loved about this scene is that when Alan Finch, Deputy Mayor Alan Finch, says the police had a hell of a time covering it up. So then, like we're saying, so now we know that the police cover stuff up for the mayor. But then when the mayor says this line about Spike, we had a hell of a time trying to figure out what he'd do next when he's talking about him last year, establishing that the mayor knows everything. He knows every bad guy that's coming and going, and he lets certain things happen. And then so it sets up the mayor as being this kind of all-knowing, and it sets the government up as being kind of corrupt, which really does answer the question, why doesn't Buffy ring the police?
Finally, even give True the answer.
But
Because
also, they're in on it. But also the mayor says, loose cannon, we don't want to let a loose cannon rock the boat. And he's like, is that a mixed metaphor? He's like, a loose cannon, I guess, would cause the boat to rock. And it just reminds me how much I love mixed metaphors so much. Like, never punch a gift horse in the face.
it was a correct metaphor, because I think a loose cannon is on a ship. Well, I guess it would.
Like, does the Pope shit in the woods?
At the end of that scene, I really appreciated that we got to see the mayor put the ball. I know it sounds so dopey, but I like the fact about it because he did the thing. I like when murders do that.
Hey!
We move on to Angel building the fire like a true prod in the 11th. Nick, going to be?
Yeah.
Anyway, always the most beautiful fires, and they always just seem to have been just lit. Quite a chatty episode. Again, I've written it here, but it just feels like plot moving, just information dumping about how people are feeling and stuff, which is good. I just feel like it could have been done better. But again, I always love I love scenes with Angels and Buffy. I believe them. There's such chemistry between them that I'm like, it's still really good acting. I really like the Buffy left for the no, I'm fine face. No, I'm not annoyed. Why would you get that impression? Why would you think I was annoyed?
Where are you going? You just got here. It's early.
Yeah, well, my mom starts worrying a lot earlier these days. I'll stop by soon.
I actually really liked this scene because this is the other scene I was talking about where we see Angel looking at Buffy when she's not looking at him. And Angel asks Buffy her reasons for staying. And obviously we know that Buffy's kind of hoping maybe that Angel, that's the kind of idea they're giving us. Buffy wants to know there's another reason to stay. And I think she wants that reason to be Angel because she loves him. That's the unwritten subtext of what Buffy's thinking in my eyes. I love now that we get this sense of like what loving someone with a soul looks like, because Angel's selfless love of Buffy is what allows him to tell her that she should leave for college rather than the possessive kind of destructive nature of like the love that Spike has, for example, that we see him talking about. But there is that look whenever Buffy says kind of that line to Angel, like, I guess there's nothing holding me back anyway, while she's still packing her bag, and Angel looks at her as if he wants her to also look at him.
And want the other person to say like,
Yeah.
I want you to stay with me, but neither wants to be the reason that the person makes the decision. So it's classic like unspoken subtext. Really, really good. Really well done. It is really good. Yeah, you're right. You've changed my mind.
And David Harris just looking quality.
He is. Is this? Are they about to go to the Angel?
It's
Is
season
this the
4,
season?
yeah.
So is this like?
This is, well, the spoilers for anyone who's watching it.
Let me stop before you do give me spoilers. We want to go back and say, from a production point of view, are we? Would the production know that the Angel's about to come into place next year? Are they ramping up to this?
Yeah, I think it's maybe about to be announced.
Because he looks like a star.
Well, that's the thing. The way he acts in this episode is actually really reminds me of season 1 Angel, and I love season 1 of Angel. Like, I was even thinking like, oh, if we would ever do Angel, but I was like, there's so much of Angel I don't like, but I love season 1 and 2 of Angel.
I would actually love to do, instead of episode by episode, season by season, on Angel and like things like that, and do a big long, or even 3, or however long we want to talk about it, but like make it a big slog of a chat.
Because one of the best episodes of TV of all Buffy world happens in Angel season 1, and it's a crossover episode. But
Which episode I might remember?
it's one where Buffy goes over to Angel, because he's been watching her at Thanksgiving to protect her because his friend had a vision about her. But when she goes over to him, he becomes human, and they spend their day together, and they are in bed, and they have sex, and they have all this food, and then but because he becomes a human, he then can't keep fighting the good fight because he's going to get like really hurt. So he makes the decision to not become a human at the cost of they have to rewind the day like it never happened, except he would be the only one he ever knew.
That's great.
Even thinking about it's going to make me cry because it's like the most heart-wrenching scene, but really, really good.
How am I supposed to go on with my life? Knowing what we had, what we could have had.
You won't. No one will know but me.
We cut back to Icky, Xander, and Willow. Xander is just fucking gross in this. I can't believe this works on Willow. He's just outright trying to buck her in the thing when they're trying to sort shit out. And I'm just like, would you fuck off?
Oh, with the feather?
Yeah, and the feather thing, I was like, no. At both times, I was like, oh, I can't believe this is working. And then somehow Xander just looks at the stuff and knows it's a love spell.
Well, that to me made sense because he has experience with it.
But did he not just get given a love spell once?
Amy did in front of him. Remember, he had to sit in the circle and he had all of the stuff. And then when it had to be undone, he was there too. But I think the idea also that Willow had 3 black candles there and was using a witchcraft book. I'm like,
I get all that stuff, but it's just the fact that it's like, wait, he would never notice something like this. Why is he noticing it now? I felt a little bit like, Willow, she admits that she is doing a love spell, a de-lust spell for them. And she says the most crucial line to the point that I paused it and gave her a round of applause.
I can't do this anymore, Xander. I mean, this whole us thing is bleh.
I could not agree more, honey.
honey.
Oh, honey. Oh, honey. Honey, honey, honey. Oh, honey.
We get to the point where Sander's trying to say something really and Spike comes in and takes him by the neck and beats the fuck out, punches him really well. And like you rarely get the punch this way or like from,
Yeah. It looked like it really connected.
I really wish it had of.
Some would say that this is the start potentially of Willow using magic to conveniently make her real life problems be easier.
Interesting.
Just a slight thing that'll continue over the course of the series. Not every time she does a spell, but like,
Willow's a junkie.
Spoiler!
why hasn't Willow learned some useful magic, like how to fling someone across the room or to like fucking bop someone on the head? I do love how Spike redirects her hit though to Xander, and she practically caves Xander's head in. I'm like,
Spike kidnaps Will and Xander for a love spell or a deluster, essentially is what he wants. And can I say, he is the worst drinker. He has a drinking problem. Not that he drinks alcohol too much, that he physically can't get the alcohol to go into his fucking mouth.
it is a love spell Spike wants. He wants to make Drusilla fall in love with him just so he can like break up with her.
Willow, and then I've just put Willow is the best actor.
The fear.
But she acts like a 1960s actor. You know, like those old black and white films.
Gonna put that glass bottle through my face, no?
She just looks so... I genuinely get really frightened at her face because she looks so genuinely scared. And because she's got such a beautiful, innocent face. Like, when she goes frightened, it looks so childlike at times.
You'll do it!
Yes, I'll do it.
You lie to me, and I'll shove this through your face. You want that?
No.
Right through to your brain!
No, please, no.
Spike then starts opening up to Willow about Brazil and what happened between him and Drusilla, which is again more... What's the word?
Exposition.
Exposition. More exposition from Spike. And then... But again, I think they're trying to lighten the mood-ish with Spike to make it a little bit funny. I get the feeling they're trying to make it a little bit humorous or to be like, oh, Spike's not that bad. Watched Willow the whole time. Never once does she drop the fear. And I was like, that's some brilliant acting. Like, because she could have maybe played it like you would see actors sometimes playing it like, oh, I'm going to get a bit more comfortable, and oh, I'm going to get him to open up more. No, she just sits there shitting herself the whole time, and I loved that choice. And in her tears, she was doing the thing with the tears starting, and I was like, she's so good in this thing. This is so good. It was actually one of my favorite scenes. Just watching her act, I was like, how is she doing that? And then Spike, blah blah blah, talks, and he starts to smell her and be like, oh, you smell great, because he's got that drunk. And it comes across drunk guy in a bar that's like, oh, you look like a can all that stuff. His accent is everywhere.
I'm from London. I was one of 2 identical twins.
But I quite like that she stood up for herself.
There will be no having of any kind.
I love that too. It's funny. And I thought that was a cool little scene, not for Spike, but just for Alison Hannigan's. How is she not? Why has no one employed her to do proper acting in a proper movie? She's so good.
Oh, and this one time at band camp, I stuck a flute in my pussy.
And the Oscar goes to
Alison Hannigan.
This scene, I think, was the scene that I don't know if this was maybe filmed first, because I feel like this scene, if I had it come way earlier, would have made me understand Spike's back and forwardness a bit more, because there is the idea of like he gets raging, but he really loves Drusilla, but he's raging, and I wish that this had come a bit sooner, because we've seen him act this whole way, and now this explanation is just, it makes sense, but it's too late for me to really give a fuck, to be honest.
I don't care about him anymore. He's simply killed that wee shop woman, so you've lost me.
I think him killing that shop woman is then to show that he maybe is serious when he smashes that bottle and says, when he says to Willow, like, I'll push it right through to your brain. It was just like a really like visceral way. Like I felt, I believed it.
Why do you always smile with delight whenever you hear about someone murdering someone?
You're a sick fuck, you know that?
This episode, Spike basically does confirm what Buffy asked in the season 2 finale when she said, you want my help because your girlfriend's a big hoe. And Spike basically just confirms Drusilla is a big hoe. She just kept cheating on him. She kept going with other people. And he says about the chaos demon that she shagged, he said, have you ever seen one? They're all slime and antlers. And we will see one, because this scene gets put into a flashback in season 5, which is pretty good.
Oh, really? Oh, that's good.
Yeah. I liked Willie. I like Willie's when he's telling the story. Willow says, they're there. But I hate this line that Spike says when he talks about, he's like, I haven't had a woman in weeks, unless you count that shopkeeper. I'm like, it's very classist.
We cut to just some boobies. Just some bouncing boobies. Bouncing boobies for no reason. No idea why this shot was there. You just see her boobies.
I wasn't sure if you were going to comment on that or not, but I also did write about it.
Well, what was the point in this? Why did you show me that? Like, it gave me a bit, but she was just jumping and they run in, that was it. But there's no other equipment around her. She's just standing with a jumping rope. And I'm like, you just wanted to see her tits? Fair enough.
That's how you skip.
But I know it's just, she's randomly skipping in the library. I don't know. It just felt so from nowhere. Sorry. They don't often glare.
The male gaze isn't always usually applied to Buffy, for example. Like, we never really see her being like, oh yeah, she's fucking hot and her ditties are out. They're not purposely trying to make it look, she's not like bending over with a stick being like, oh yeah.
You're 100% correct, because we're 42 episodes in and it's the first time I've noticed that there was a male gaze. It's happened at other times when they do it to like Cordelia and other characters. It's the first time I've seen it happen to Buffy, and I just felt a little bit like, what are you doing?
Let's skip ahead.
The other halves run in to get, I'm just calling them the other halves at this point. The other halves run in to get Buffy because they noticed that Willow and Xander have been kidnapped because there's a mess in the science lab. Giles is 45 minutes away, conveniently, so the other halves have to drive to get Giles. Joyce calls Buffy, and as we hear Joyce chatting to Buffy in the background, we hear Spike going, oh, Joyce, blah, 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 blah. And at this point, Buffy does an amazing run out of the room.
I love that phone call from Joyce. Like, I thought it was a great way to set up the scene and the danger. Just hearing Spike over the phone and having that camera like pan into Buffy and the look on her. I think it'd be really hard to act genuinely shocked. Like,
if you're listening only, Tony is acting shocked.
And then have to run off. Like, I think sometimes I take the TV that maybe people wouldn't consider like, you know, prestige TV for granted. Like, that how just good, like how hard it is to like act in a show about vampires.
But I actually am realizing the reason why Buffy is so successful is because they have really good actors. We cut to Spike yapping the same story to Joyce, which I think's funny because we hear a similar quite line. But Joyce is not frightened of Spike, which I think's really interesting. So she knows that he's a vampire, but isn't scared of him.
Because remember, Buffy and Spike had the deal, and Spike was in her house before, and she's like, "So are you new to town?"
I just loved that he could tell her all the stuff about demons and all, and Joyce like, okay, like she's not weird at all. I kind of love Joyce now.
Well, she sounds very unreasonable.
She is. She's out of her mind.
The relationship they're building with Spike and Joyce, not relationship, but how they interact, goes on for seasons. Like,
They become friends.
yeah.
They like become friends. That's funny. Joyce is doing very understanding. His accent is fucking atrocious.
Hey everybody, this is Future Tony sitting down to edit this episode, and it's at this point in the episode that I've decided now to consult some English accent experts on our takes on Spike's accent. So first up we have my sister Amanda, friend of the podcast, part-time host, and also Northern Irish lady living in Cambridge, England.
I think you're right with Spike's accent being really weird in this episode, because he's playing a drunk as well. So there's parts of his accent that sound really like Victorian Cockney, EastEnders way. But then it also sounds like a bit Manchester or Mank, that sort of northern accent. But I don't know if it's because he's been around for so long, his accent has changed. And he actually reminds me, I don't know if you've seen it, of Dick Van Dyke's performance in Mary Poppins. It's really, hello governor. It's not really good. So I think in this episode we need to give him a bit of grace because he was playing a drunk.
And as the owner of a kind of fucked up English Northern Irish accent hybrid, I just wanted to know if this affects you personally.
Absolutely not. I'm the queen of the fucked up accent because I've been here in England now for nearly 18 years, so it's going to have changed. But the English don't really notice. They just think I still sound really Belfast, so sometimes you have to get the Belfast out when people piss you off, and that's always a great feeling. What is really weird though is having a child that doesn't sound the same as you. So like Evelyn's really like, Mummy, can I go play? And I'm just like, I never thought I'd have a child that sounded like she was from Victorian England.
And next up we have my current favourite internet boyfriend, Jay Manchand. You might have heard of me talking about him over on our exclusive Patreon episode. If you haven't, make sure to hit that up. But in the meantime, check him out, an incredible artist and also owner of an English accent.
I hadn't really thought about it, but actually now that you mention it, I think Spike's accent is bizarrely enunciated in a few places, like when he says, at least I'm man enough to admit it. It's like he's put a little bit more emphasis on the English accent and it's not quite realistic, which is typical of Americans doing English accents, to be fair. My favourite part of his entire performance that episode is when he shouts Drusilla and then does that insane laugh, and it sounds exactly like the clown in Bart Simpson's nightmare of when Homer makes him the clown bed. I don't know if you remember that, but I always think of that.
Thanks very much to Jay and Amanda for their input, and now back to Dave with the main episode.
Angel runs in, sees up, sees it's Spike sitting there, tries to run in, gets blocked by the spell, which I fucking loved that. Did they redo the spell again to kick him out?
No, remember they did it at the end of Passion season 2 when Buffy was like, change the locks. It slammed the door.
This scene's funny. This is where I get confused with the game. He doesn't seem scary, but yet randomly gets scared. So maybe that is a good thing that he randomly turns it on. But I kind of I find it really confusing when they're making an anti-hero. Because I guess that's what they're doing with Spike, which is really interesting. But I'm just like, I feel like they need to give him a wee half a soul or something. But anyway.
It does make me wonder how much of it was intentional, because there was Spike wasn't meant to be around, and Joss Whedon didn't like the character of Spike either. But the network he tested, because people loved him, they just wanted him to keep coming back.
You need a good baddie. You need it and he is a baddie that's not super strong. He's just annoying as fuck. They're my favorite kinds, the irritating fuckers.
And to be honest, it's the start of a kind of journey with Spike where is he good, is he bad? And the more Spike tries to figure that out too, the more interesting and complex his character kind of becomes. But because he's just on that tip of that right now, it's not interesting enough.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Joyce, listen to me.
You get out of this house, or I will stake you myself.
You're a very bad man, Joyce. You can't trust him. Invite me in. You touch her and I'll cut your head off.
Spike is really funny here because he keeps making faces behind Joyce's back. Like, ooh, all this stuff with like Angel, which I think is very funny. Angel says something and Spike says something and then Buffy says something witty and has him by the throat over the thing.
And you got that from an expert on the subject.
But I find it so funny when a wee tiny person has a very clear tall person, not over, like he's very much giving, like bending himself over for that. And she's barely touching him, but it's like she looks so... I never realized how wee she looks until she has him by the throat. She invites Angel in. Joyce is hilarious in this bit trying to catch up. Like, because she keeps putting little bits in and Joyce going,
Willow's a witch?
And Xander.
Him too.
Wait, Xander's a witch?
what?
Willow's a witch? Xander's a witch?
That made me laugh. Xander's a witch got a proper belly laugh from me. I was like, that was funny. And her whole, like, because I'm like, yeah, Joyce, I feel you, babes. I love that the end... Whenever, and this is my favorite thing, and I really want you to pull this clip forever and ever and ever. Enjoy your poof, or whatever. It is.
Oh, you and your great poof.
You and your great poof here want to tag along? That's fine.
And I just wrote here, Tony, you're my great poof. I never get to hear poof. It's one of my favorite. Sorry, there's a homophobic slur, and I apologize if maybe it's not a homophobic slur. A homophobic slur in other places, but calling somebody a pifter or a piff in here would be like you're gay. It's a gay thing.
Yeah, but it's such a light. It's like a diet slur.
It's like someone going like, "Oh, you're a bit tubby," and I'm like, "I am a bit tubby."
Yeah.
Yeah, Bracky.
Like, do you know what? I'll take that. It's like, God, you're being a wee bit of a piff today. And it's like, do you know what, babes? I am being a wee bit of a piff today.
Yeah.
Bracky.
I would love to hear him say Willy Woofter.
But at this point, Spike is allowed to just walk out.
But they are going to follow him. But he said, "You and your great poof can tag along."
It was a funny scene. Thought it was really good. Thought it was light. Good conversation. Loads of stuff happening. Loved this scene. Anything to say in this scene?
Just that I love Joyce in this scene. She got some great lines. Like I do love that line that I said earlier when she's like, she sounds very unreasonable. The exasperation that she gets that I love when she's finding out new information. It reminded me of Becoming Part 2 when she finds out like about Buffy being the Slayer. She's like, have you tried not being a Slayer? You know,
Yeah.
I don't know why I said that really harsh. Have you tried not being a Slayer? That's why I just love that Joyce has no fear over Spike. Because I just love that they don't even really explain why she's not afraid of him. She trusts him because I guess he held up his end of the bargain.
We cut to the fan. We have Oz being yapped at by Cordelia, she's being quite funny here, but it's interesting because I wasn't listening to anything she was saying really. I was just like, this is Cordelia nonsense, which I'm now realizing why her response later on to walking in on Xander and Willow is so impactful.
Also, Cordelia has been getting the development, like the most obvious development out of everyone, despite being in a lot less. And it's just like, and we just love her, like as a character now. We're just like, she has reached the goals of like, she's not ashamed of Xander. She's at like her peak. So it's like for this, that's why it hurts. I think it hurts her because it hurts us to see this happen to her.
Oz stops the van because he says he can smell Willow.
It's supposed to be in her period.
Yes, Tony. Yes, Tony. God bless you, you fuck. Let me just...
Did you write she must be on her period?
No, I wrote this.
Tony will make a period.
I wrote, stops the van and smells, and I was like, oh, I wonder how it smells. And I was like, nope, Tony will make a period joke. That's all I did, and I continued on, and I'm so happy.
Oh, I hate being so predictable.
I knew you make a period joke.
I didn't even write that. I just said that in that exact moment.
Look, I now do the script for this bit, folks. So I wrote that knowing this cunt loves periods. We cut back to Spike yapping about sobering up and how he's blah, 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 and he wants to go get the ingredients from the thing. This whole bit with Spike and all this stuff seems so pointless. I know, I can't wait to get, I know, blah, 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 but I actually didn't even write that much about it because it was just it was just a fight with not really bad, scary people, but they seem to make a fucking meal out of it though. He's having fond murder memories, like sitting down going these bits, and I'm like, that's where it's like, I think that's, no, it's not even I don't care. It's like, So his fondness is murder and mayhem. It's like, I don't pity him. I don't understand why we're helping. Anyway, I know because we're trying to get the friends back and stuff, but I just still am like, I just feel like they could have done Spike a little bit better. But it still is really good for him, and I could see why you're setting him up for. He rocks up an Angel, doesn't he?
Spoiler!
They go into the apothecary, the potions lab place.
The magic shop?
The magic shop. And this is probably one of the only good points for Spike being in this whole episode is that he gets to say the thing that no one else gets to say out loud because he doesn't give a fuck. And he simply says that they aren't friends.
You're not friends. You'll never be friends. You'll be in love till it kills you both. You'll fight, and you'll shag, and you'll hate each other till it makes you quiver, but you'll never be friends. Love isn't brains, children. It's blood. Blood screaming inside you to work its will. I may be love's bitch, but at least I'm man enough to admit it.
Actually telling people you're not friends. You're lovers, and you shouldn't
You'll never be friends.
You're never going to be friends. Stop trying to fucking think that that's what you are. Just admit the fact that you're not friends. You are in love with each other, blah, blah, blah. And then this is where it led me to...
Who's in love with each other?
Huh?
Who's in love with each other? Who's not friends and who's in...
Angel and
No, I
Buffy?
mean... Oh, no, because you're saying... I thought you were talking about, like, people that you know. I was like...
All right. No. I just mean, like, general in life, whenever you, like...
Oh,
with
I
an
thought there
ex-
was gossip. I was like...
Oh, wait, no, I have no gossip.
No, but I'll tell you gossip about and then these people think that thing about look.
I'm not even. Anyway, do vampires love? Can Spike love? And this is where I got to my thing about if he's recognizing that they're in love, then he recognizes love. And then I'm like, so can he experience love? And then I get into this whole thing, like, but I assumed you could only experience love if you have a soul, because Angel, as soon as he lost his soul, any love and desire that he had for Buffy left. So I'm like, is it and then I went into the whole thing, and I went, it's just a TV show, David. It doesn't really, not that it's just a TV show, it just meant like...
But the thing it's making you think is actually is the crux of the episode, and it's like we touched on it briefly earlier, like loving with or without a soul. Like Angel's love for Buffy didn't evaporate because he didn't have a soul, but having a soul, Angelus isn't the one who was in love with Buffy, so Angelus was so far removed. Angelus felt polluted to have that soul, so and loving someone because of that soul was like an expression that he wasn't willingly part, a violation maybe of his soullessness. Whereas Spike willingly, chose to be in a relationship with Drusilla. But as we've seen so far in this episode, I touched on it earlier, like loving someone without a soul seems to be this like all-encompassing, destructive type of love. Whereas loving someone with a soul seems to let you be empathetic and care about them.
I have it. I think loving without a soul is possessing, and loving with a soul is where even if you don't get to possess the person, you still love them and want the best for them. Like, if you love someone so much, when they come to you and be like, I'm done, you go, no problem, and not, you must stay back and forth, someone into shit like that stuff.
It's loving with an open fist or a closed fist.
That's great. I love how you went open and closed instead of open and closed.
Well, the arsehole's open when I do that. It's closed when I do that.
Anyway.
Because that scene was so boring about Spike talking about blah, 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 like, this is where I felt like I couldn't connect with his nostalgia because I hadn't seen it. If I had seen it on screen, I felt like then I'd be like, oh, this is where blah, blah, blah happened. But because that scene was so boring, it did make me think there's a lot of traffic noises in the background, but where are the people of Sunnydale? Because it has to be about 7 or 8 p.m. Why is the coffee shop closed? Why do we hear traffic, but we don't see any cars? Where are all the people?
Wow. Where are all the people? That's a really good point.
Yeah, obviously we know it's because they're not in this episode. Spike does say that great line, "You're not friends, you'll never be friends," but he does follow it up with a great line where he's like, "I might be love's bitch, but at least I'm man enough to admit it."
I love that. Terrible accent, and that is a really good impression of his terrible accent. But I love that line. I thought that was really well written. I am quite an emotional person. I love love. I love all this stuff, and I'm like, and it gets to a point where you just say the thing, and people are like, "Oh, yeah, I'm a love's bitch." I thought it was cool. I it's insane to me how Joss Whedon didn't see how people loved Spike. Like, even in all this, I'm still like, I would happily murder Alexander if we could have Spike. Even the way he gets on is less evil than the way Xander gets on with the two girls. We cut to Xander waking up, and we're getting finally ready for the impending fucking moment, which we can finally get rid of this. And I'm assuming Willow and Xander's feelings for each other just evaporate all of a sudden and don't have any sort of, like, would happen in real life where you would still have those residual feelings, but maybe I'm wrong.
David's right.
Will explains where they are and pets him and Boke and Gross and all this lovey-dovey shit, which I just don't get why he gets it. But the one thing I will give them is that they kiss really well. Up until the moment till they kiss, I'm like, ugh, then they kiss, I'm like, whoa, that's some hot kissing. You know how to kiss. But they kiss.
Yeah.
And the camera pans around and we see Cordelia and Oz coming in, and Cordelia's face in this.
Yeah.
Oz's face in this is also crushing because he only moves like these two bits in his eyes, and it's just, and I'm like, but you can see how it was so good. They are like the MVP. They're like two subs that come from nowhere. They've been quiet the whole fucking episode, and then they come in and destroy me with two looks.
I don't know anything about sports.
Oh, Cordelia's definitely a dom.
But I quite like Oz is true to form of this stoic, we must go and save the thing or whatever. Cordelia's running up the steps and falls down and gets a fake fucking spike ran through what would be her broken heart. I think is a little pointed point, even though it doesn't hit any organs, but it's very much stabbing her in the heart there. I thought it was quite I like what the director's doing there.
Yes, well, in this scene, well, first of all, there were some parts in this episode where I really loved the direction, and I think this scene is one of them where when we do get that camera whip round from them on the bed to Cordelia and Oz arriving. A couple of little silly things. The blood in Xander's face keeps changing from his chin to his cheek, just based,
I noticed that
depending
too.
on what shot they're on. And Xander does deliver the creepy line of like, oh, exemption for impending death situation, being like, oh, will you go with me, basically, because I think we're going to die, which I just felt like is really, that's very coercive, and I'm just not into it. But I think when you think about Oz and Cordelia finding Xander, it's so much worse because technically they're like rolling around on a bed. Whereas if you'd caught someone kissing, like standing up, excuse me, it wouldn't have been as bad. I think it still would be bad, but catching someone like your girlfriend's on top of a man, like on a bed, it just was like horrendous.
And it looks like they could have been having sex and all that sort of stuff.
And even though I've seen this episode a load of times, I still feel like I'm always surprised by the direction it goes whenever Cordelia falls through the stairs and gets impaled by the rebar, which is actually inspired by an injury that Charisma Carpenter had when she was 5 years old in the exact same place, because she's got a real scar there. So I don't know if the plan is, because they do show it, they show the scar in different episodes sometimes. So I don't know if it was specifically because of that. But yeah, that was based on a real injury. We're on the big fight.
Come on, costume change.
The big fight. This is our random fight scene with the shit vampires. This is alright. Yeah. But there was no build up, and I didn't really get a reason as to why you randomly. I know why, but it just mean like in a fundamentally. I just wish there was a better reason other than like, yeah, just go kill Spike, and then it's like that's our big fight. It's 2 scenes of a fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
they fought out.
It was a long fight, and technically it was well choreographed.
Really great to watch. Like, it's a good. I watched it the first time. I just knew there was no plot in it. It was just a fight that was like, oh, good fight, good fight, good fight. Do you know what I mean?
But I'm also so not invested in seeing fights with like 8 vampires that are all dressed the same. That I don't know who there's no sort of person, like, if you're going to give me a show about vampires that can literally be turned into vampires at any point, I want to see them either like 80s vampires, 90s vampires, 1700s vampires, or like, I don't want them all wearing business suits, but was that maybe to reflect that they were sent by the mayor and maybe they're like paid vampires for hire?
Well, they were the committee.
Also, I just realized the more we say mayor, Shauna Boyle messaged me to be like, I just absolutely love listening to you and David talking about the mayor. And how just the way you say mayor.
It's awful. It makes me think about the mayor.
The mayor the mayor just comes out of the shower and is tall.
No, the mayor was reading the mirror when he was looked in the mirror.
Riding the mirror.
Yeah, riding the mirror. Yeah.
Oh, when he was having a problem with his female horse, it's like the mayor was having a mirror with his mirror.
Good fights. The double penetration steak was a good bit. I like that. Kill bit was great.
Yeah.
And you love DP, so
No, it's only happened to me once.
no way.
Just once, and I didn't realize it was happening.
Which means that that's only
was-
that time that you've noticed.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that. I thought it meant something else. I thought it meant I was on a ton of drugs and couldn't feel anything.
Typical meth head. Typical meth head. Shame.
No, it's because you're of a big hole.
No,
You've a
my
big-
hole snaps back.
No, I
No,
hear
I'm
you.
like baby calamari hole.
No, I heard you have an out gappy Roslyn.
No, how dare you? I don't gape. Abraham Lincoln.
They run into the shop anyway. The potion shop or the
Magic shop. Did you not notice the name of it either? It's called the Magic Box. For anyone out there who's actually watched more Buffy, they're going to be like, oh my god, David doesn't know about the Magic Box.
The fight didn't really have much dilemma. You just kind of don't feel like at any point that they're sweating it, even though they do. At one point, Angel gets pushed over by a door and knocked out for a couple of seconds. And I'm like, what? Is he still weak? Anyway, and the bit that I loved and hated the most was when they easily wheeled over this. Not many bookshelves are just on wheels like that, but they were able to wheel a bookshelf over to the thing because you'd hear the wheels squeaking. My thing is, though, when I'm thinking about stuff like that, it means that the scene's
You're
not
out of
doing
it.
I'm not in it. And again, it's a little, at the end of that part, we get that little button from Spike whenever, like, obviously Buffy's helping Angel up and she's sort of holding him. And she's like, yeah, you two are just friends. That's right. And I love that little reminder. And Spike, I think, just fucks off at that point. Yeah, because he realizes he loved the fight. He just wanted some adventure in his life. And then he realizes he's just going to become an old self and win over Drusilla by, what do you say, kidnapping her and torturing her until she...
Torturing her and making her realizing that she wants to be with him. L'amour. The thing I love about the choreography of this fight is that they use everything that's around them, including the open coffee shop. Buffy breaking the mop to stake the two vampires, and I even like them dusting like not back to back, but back to forward. And she does this she has this resourcefulness that she shows again in the magic shop whenever she straight away breaks the legs off the chair to make stakes for them.
He always does that in loads of scenes. I always notice.
Yeah,
when
I love
goes
that
in,
resourceful.
He creates stakes, like it's just
Yeah.
automatic. It's quite a clever thing that they put in.
It's also smart because like it means like in opposition to season 1 when she used to carry around a big bag with her. You know, she doesn't have to carry all that fucking shite. Because obviously, as you've noticed, they don't have her in leather to fight this time. She's wearing complete like Sports Direct gear because they can't have her obviously in anything that reminds us of Faith because they need to build up that Faith is her opposite at some point. As a directorial thing, I love the way they lined up the shot of Buffy, Spike, and Angel when they were in the shop waiting for like them to burst through the door. It was just really nicely done. I love Angel getting trampled on by the door. I just thought it was funny. I loved Buffy and Angel seeing the holy water and the way the focus changed between them. I just thought that was a nice shot, and I love how kind of stupid but creative. At least it was a new creative way of like them getting rid of the bad guys.
Believable, because that's what you would do. Just fuck them and see what happens. Like we petrol bombs, holy petrol bombs at the vampires. Like
Yeah,
I can see we petrol bombs being fucked at the Peters.
I do like when Spike is like stakes that one guy who was really annoying, and he's like, baby want a bottle or something.
Why doesn't baby have a nap?
But at the end of that fight, Spike has a kind of iconic line when he's like, now that was fun. I guess that's when we're seeing like Spike's catharsis through violence, and that kind of shows us his whole approach, I guess, to like love, and which I think is good. Then at the end, they have kind of solidified Spike's view towards, like, we obviously see it's all based around possession and violence and hurt and whatever, but I like that there's like an underlying thought that like Buffy and Angel's love has the potential to lead to that, and that's why they're being restraining.
I never thought of it like that.
But Spike is obviously used as a mirror in this episode because Spike essentially is the one that exposes the cheating between Willow and Xander.
Sorry, to cheat on the time.
Yeah, Spike's the mirror all the time. Spike is used as a dark mirror in this episode. And I also like how he mocks Buffy and Angel's attempt to intellectualize their restraint and their passion by saying like they're not friends, they'll never be friends, and he is the one that essentially forces everyone to deal with the things they haven't been dealing with and completely burns through their delusions.
Yeah, just a classic disruptor. Like Faith
Yeah.
is that also like comes in and says the things that no one says, like not my elephant, not my room. I don't give a fuck about talking about it kind of vibe. Do you know what I mean?
Not my
When
elephant, not my room. I've never heard that before, but I like that.
So we cut back and we got like Sander, and then Cordelia dies. Cordelia dies. That's her.
Cordelia dies.
Cordy.
He created all things in order that they might exist. And the generative forces of this world are wholesome, and there is no destructive poison in them. For the dominion of Hades is not on earth, for righteousness is immortal.
So Cordelia's gonna be okay?
No, only joking.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
No, she doesn't die.
I love the way they did that. It was really emotional as well. There was something like the music was
No.
good. I just thought it was
No.
really. It was a good fake out.
Didn't get it. I knew it was bullshit. I just didn't believe it.
I know, but
knew
that's just because you knew. But
I know it wasn't. If I had never seen this show before, I would tell you I knew that girl wasn't dying. It was too.
No.
There wasn't a big enough emotional. She wouldn't have just died at her funeral the next day. There would have been a bigger fucking. Oh dang. Anyway.
no, I loved it when she was like,
It
I
was
can't
funny.
see.
Thought it was humorous. But I didn't.
Yeah, it
think
was. That was a
Didn't
point.
get
But there was
emotional.
a brief moment where I was like,
You want to talk about emotion?
yeah,
Let's have Xander dandering into the fucking room. We'll get there in a little second because that
We
comes
will,
up. We've had a little dandering about everybody's end of the show bit. But I wanted to point out how great a friend Buffy is and how fucking terrible Xander is. As always, non-judgmental, just listens to her friend, knows that she's not perfect and did a bad thing. Doesn't make her a bad person. A vegan having a burger does not make them not a vegan anymore. It just means a vegan had a burger one time.
that's true.
When people are like, it doesn't mean you're to have. If for example, you were someone who's sober and you have taken whatever it is that makes you not sober, it does not mean that you can never be sober again. It just meant that you're a fucking human being. You make a mistake. That we are all humans, and I just love how we get Buffy being the quintessential great non-judgmental friend. And I think that that's the thing that you get from Buffy always is that she never ever judges her mates. Yet gets trailed over the fucking coals by everybody else when she, for God forbid, acts like a fucking teenager. But anyway, and then we cut to Xander getting the almightiest coldest shoulder from Cordelia.
The cord shoulder.
The thing that I loved about this is that she goes, Xander, what does it says? What's the exact line?
Mine?
Stay away from me.
That was amazing. But it was so she looks so broken. So good in this episode. That the whole season was for that one fucking scene because she was brilliant and she was cold. And then I wrote here, and then I bet Xander learns from this. I bet that he becomes quite understanding and admits that it's his own faults and it's his, like, is it his behaviors causing these things to happen in his life? And then, by the next episode, he'll be a better friend to Buffy and a better friend to Willow and maybe better friend to Cordelia. Or in the episode, does he maybe do something really fucking stupid? It is called The Wish. I wonder who wishes for what. And I'm wondering if the emotional fucking asshole that is Xander, would he just be a fucking grown-up and get over it? Or is he going to do something really stupid in the next episode? Folks, I have no idea what happens in the next episode. This is me just predicting that. I'm wondering, is Xander going to grow or is he going to continue being a fucking asshole? Let's watch out next week.
Do you want me to tell you who makes the wish?
No, Cordelia has not been asked to do much in this whole season. And like a super sub, not to bring sports into it, she came in and scored the winning goal at the last minute.
God, stop saying things with sports-fueled knowledge.
She brought the emotion at that point. Her being so broken and hurt and human was just fucking class.
I actually did love the crossfading of the scene into the funeral. I just thought with the music and everything, it was so good. And I love that it swells and you get that nice bit of like, we come into the ground, blah, 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 blah. Let us know below who you agree with, me or David. Did you find this a kind of fun surprise or did you not? Let us know let us know in the comments below. I'm annoyed that it took all of this for Willow to realize what she wants. However, it is kind of like real lifey where if you're cheating on someone and then it gets found out, then you realize that that's not what you want to do. Xander brings Cordelia literally my favorite flowers in the world, like not even joking, sunflowers and gladioli.
Gladiator.
Barely know her. He's not trying to be horrible, obviously, but he just said, he's like, these are flowers. I'm like, are you being a dick? Are you saying like, oh, she doesn't know what flowers are because she's not nice and no one's ever got her flowers? That's obviously not what he was saying. But I'm like,
No.
why can he not? Of course I know why he cannot, because he's written by Joss Whedon.
I got that, like, he did not know what to say, so he is like, here are flowers.
Yeah. And also horrific that she has to pay the price for them.
Yeah, 100%. It's always innocent people, and I will never.
Forgive him.
Unless he genuinely shows growth as a, but I have never seen Xander ever think that anything was his fault. I just think this character never seems to he gets consequences, but he never seems to fucking learn from them or something, or he just continues to be an asshole, or he's a teenage fella and all dicks, whatever. We all know I don't like Xander, but but whenever he was being an asshole, the time he was a wolf or the fucking werewolf or the pack was the best episode he's ever been in, because he played what his true person is, that cunt.
So we have our final scene, and the only reason why I wanted to tell you, like why I wanted to lead this part is because I literally cried both times watching this. I'm gay though, but I don't know what it is about this. Like, Buffy goes to see Angel, and this is basically where Buffy's like, I'm not going to come back. Spike's right. I can't pull the wool over anyone's eyes. Like, I love you. You love me, but we obviously can't be together. And I love that Angel kind of says to her, like, I don't accept that. And I think as he says that, there's just something in his delivery that's like, he loves her so much. I think I just got really caught up in like the melodrama or something of it.
There's got to be some way we can still see each other.
There is. Tell me that you don't love me.
Which is a callback to I Only Have Eyes for You, when the two people are possessed Buffy and Angel, and they're like, tell me you don't love me. And we hear a variation of the Close Your Eyes theme as well.
I heard that.
I just loved it. Like,
that makes you cry, but I could play that theme over the top of The Simpsons and you would cry. I think it's a good theme. Theme's very good.
I just thought it was like, I could just imagine, I think about the writing of this and it being like Sarah and David getting their scripts and they go to record this, not record it, I guess. Yeah, record it. And then it's just like, I just think it must be so amazing. Like, they're just so good. And I just felt this was a really big emotional moment where Buffy, again, has to put herself. Buffy chooses basically everyone else but herself first.
Yeah.
And it's kind of sad. And then we get this kind of montage of the six of them. And this is over a piece of music by Christoph Beck called The Loneliness of Six. We get a montage of them all by themselves. And we see, like, Xander's just sitting in his room. Cordelia's like in the hospital. Oz is in the bronze.
Not. Sandra's in the library tidying up. Why?
Oh.
Sandra's in the library. Oz is on a pool table playing guitar.
In the bronze? Like, did they just let him in?
The lighting is amazing. It's like a music video is beautiful.
The thing that confused me about that though was because this piece of music starts out as a guitar piece. I thought Oz was playing it.
Well, I thought that they were implying that he was playing the piece of music too.
Yeah.
When his maybe I was like, all right. I agree. I thought the scene was amazing. I didn't get emotional. I'll play it.
I know you, but I don't think you'll ever get emotional the way I do. Sorry, I'm not emotional now. I'm just joking.
Get emotional, but it's just the reason why this didn't do it for me is because this scene was tacked on to a shit episode. That should have been the crux of the whole thing, but it wasn't. It feels like you keep firing us all over the place. You make it about. I wished we could have had an episode about Buffy and Angel and an episode about the fucking treaters, and it was gorgeous. I thought it was quite harsh. Tell me you don't love me. I love the silence.
Yeah,
that was the answer. Great acting, great writing. Thought it was really well done. Show don't tell. All the stuff. Her looking, him not looking. Her going. All the stuff. Absolutely. Him walking towards her and her taking a step back in slight fear, but not fear because she lost herself with him. Got all of that. I love that we get Willow sitting with a wee vape at the end. I love that we get Oz guitar on the pool table looking like he's shooting something. For some reason, Xander seems to be in the library.
But why do we get Buffy in that neon pink leopard print collared
I
shirt?
have no idea. Literally had it written here. What is she wearing?
Like, I loved the direction of, like, there were certain moments of this episode where I felt like, oh, that's different. Like, it feels different. It's directed by someone who's only directed maybe like 2 episodes of Buffy ever, which are both kind of Xandery episodes, but it did feel different, but it almost felt, it took me out of it because I'm like, this feels like I'm watching someone's like artistic version of something, and that was the only thing I struggled with.
Or like a YouTube edit that you might have done with this song over the top of it. Do you know what I mean?
How
In a
dare
good
you?
way. That's professional television I'm talking about. We get Cordelia being really, really sad, and she looks so sad. We get Buffy looking even sadder with her mad neon pink. And then we get the final scene of Spike singing My Way by the Sex Pistols with the sun glaring on his face.
I did it my way.
Which I thought actually was really cool. I quite liked the button of Spike just running into town, disrupting everything, changing it all, and running back out again. One day of him in town completely changes the whole thing. I quite like that side of
Thank
things.
fuck.
It wasn't my favorite episode. It makes me excited for The Wish.
It's one of my least favorite episodes, to be honest.
The Wish?
No, this episode that we just did. The Wish is one of my favorites, and we're doing it with the wonderful Leah from Becoming Buffy.
Surprise, bitch. I bet you thought you'd seen the last of me.
Yep. I made a wish that she would come be in it, and she is.
Co-hosting?
Yeah, we're true hosting. We're doing the Eiffel Tower podcast hosting. No, she is with child. We can't talk about ladies like that.
No, we would never talk about ladies like that. We talk about men like that.
We're technically quad hosting because there's a baby inside her.
Can we get a wee tiny microphone? Stick a wee mic on the umbilical cord?
Put it on its wee collar. But yes, I don't want to big up The Wish, but to be honest, going from where we just came from, I think you're going to love it. I've said to you before, you're going to get the idea that this is Buffy started the original multiverse.
Thanks for watching the episode, folks.
Make sure to like us on YouTube, Instagram, wherever you listen or watch your podcasts. Feel free to check out our Patreon because we filmed a little something for it earlier.
There's actual content on Patreon, and there's more coming.
And you can find us everywhere at All Bronze No Brains, and make sure to hit the like button and the little subscribe button so you'll be notified the next time we put up a video, which hopefully we're getting back into our weekly swing of things.
Yes, we are back into Ricky seeing things. I can't wait to watch The Wish now. And also, just finally, if you find yourself wanting to... Oh, I was going to say something, I've lost it. I actually just forgot what I was going to say. It was really good, though. It was a pointed thing. There was something about this, something about our show, something about commenting.
Oh, 5 stars on Spotify?
5 stars on Spotify. If you could, see if you can be fucked. If you just tap 5 stars and then you don't have to do anything else, it just lets more people that might be interested in our podcast listen to it. Maybe not so cheerio to all of our fans.
Cheerio to all of our fans.
Thanks all 3 of you guys. We love you.
Thanks, Jay Manchant.
Manchant.
Je mangeons.
Je mangeons.
Je mangeons.
Let me come in your
Gilles Van Jean. Wait, who's Jean Van Jean? Gilles Van Jean?
It is.
Oh.
461.
I haven't seen Les Mis.
Yes, you have.
I saw that play in the Odyssey or something.
That is Les Mis. The play. That play is fucking musical.
But I don't remember it.
It's fucking amazing. Go watch this movie.
I dream, and time go by.
No, you only remember. Did you sing?
Yeah.
When
I dream, he'll come to me.
Gorgeous. Better be going to do it yet.
We should do it yet soon.
Bye, babies.
Bye. Love you loads.